Oh shoot. Something. Hello. I'm up here all sweaty because I was like singing and dancing and whatnot before. I don't know why I was doing that because now I'm tired. This is crazy. Hello. I am just going to wait for a couple more people to come on. I wanted to, y'all, I need to drink wine today. Y'all do know, um, I'm sorry, it's just a couple of people that are inboxing me for the link. But I just want y'all to know, you guys do know that I be praying, right? Before each and every one, I be praying because I be like, you know what? I need to make sure that I say the right things, you know? And let me just check my sound, guys. If you can hear me, say yes in the chat, please. Unless you ghosting in the chat, you don't want nobody to know you in here. That's okay too. Let me find a way to check it myself. Okay. So y'all know that, I pray before each and every live that I do. Thank you. I appreciate you. I pray before each and every live that I do because I am, let me put my light. There we go. Because I'm just not feeling right. Because I want to make sure that I say the right things, right? And y'all, let me tell you, this one is not that I feel like it's a heavy topic. I don't really feel like it's that heavy because I think it's something that is prominent that goes on in our world all the time and nobody just held accountable for it. Like that's what I really feel. I feel like um this is a phenomenon that has been going on for a very long time and there needs to be a stop put to it. And there needs to be exposure put to it, to be 100% honest. Okay? So, I kind of want to jump right on into it. Oh, right when I'm about to jump in, I get an inbox. Mm, let me see who this is, y'all. Right before I'm about to get into it. Okay, so what y'all, this is a hard topic to talk about because I don't like to judge, you know what I mean? And this is a topic that I was actually very reluctant to do, just simply because of the topic itself, you know. But I feel like it needs to be done at this point because this city girl culture has this foolishness running rampant, and somebody has to put a stop to it. And it has to be put a stop to it one woman at a time. So, hey, Kima, how you doing? How's your day going? Because, girl, mine's going good, and it will be after this. I need this wine because I'm about to expose some stuff today. Okay. So the city girl culture, right, has gotten some things running rampant. And it's a shame that as women, we are adopting and taking on these behaviors as though they're cute. But here's the thing, there is always an end result. And the end result is never good for the side chick. All the girls that's talking about, yeah, I'm about to get his money. I don't care. He doing this to me, even though you home. Not cute. All right. So I want to start by saying this, and you guys let me know if you agree. There is a code among men, y'all. There is a code among men that we don't really know because we're women and we don't pay attention. There is a code among men that says a married woman is off limits, usually. So, if there's a guy, let's say, that's in town and he's married, his wife is beautiful. It's a code that you don't mess with that woman. It's just something you don't do. You could be coming into the club looking good, coming to the restaurant. There could be a guy, we've all been there. He look at you, you could tell he like, ooh. And then all of a sudden he see a man walking, oh, he turned into Stevie Wonder. He just looking everywhere else but at you. That is because there is a code amongst men that says, off limits, sir. Don't come over here. Don't even think about it. My territory, my piece, this is mine. And they all kind of respect that code. There has got to be a code amongst women, y'all. Like, we got to do better. All right. We need to create more of a sisterhood. And how this happens is based on one law, one principle, and that principle is the law of oneness. All right. So let me just explain to you a little bit about what the law of oneness does. All right. So this is a universal law, by the way. Okay. It's not just, I didn't make this up. This is a universal law, a universal principle that has been in place before the eons of time. And this law states that everything that exists is connected. Together we are one. We are divinely inseparable, period. Okay? So, in essence, in understanding this law, what it says, what it essentially means is that you cannot do something to someone without doing it to yourself. Now, we're going to get back to that law once I get into the tea on this side chick syndrome that I'm so over, by the way. Y'all could tell, like, my face is over it. All right, so, hey, Joanna, how you feeling? I saw that you was in the ER today. How are you doing? Like, I was like, uh-oh. And I was at work when I saw it, and I was like, ooh, shoot, okay? I hope you are doing better. I'm sending you lots of love and light and prayers for whatever it was, okay? Because I know it's getting crazy out here with, what's going on. Just things happening to us. Like, it's crazy. So I just want to make sure that you're feeling okay. And I am so glad that you were able to get on here and join me tonight. So that's good. I'm glad to hear it, girl. I'm so glad to hear it. Because you just never know nowadays. Like, I had a woman that was up here all the time. All of a sudden, she's gone. Like, no longer here with us. And I was devastated. She was one of my biggest supporters. So, I'm not liking it when I see my peoples in the hospital, okay? So, we said that there is a universal law of oneness and that you cannot first do something to somebody without doing it to yourself. All right? So we're gonna delve back to that, though. Y'all know I am, because I had to start off with that premise, because that is gonna set the foundation for the code that we need to start to set as women. All right. So this is the tea on side chicks and the results that they get, the results for the wife and the results for her. All right. So here's the thing. I am not coming from a stance of judgmentalness. I'm not coming from a stance of because even though how I be saying it, but we have all been there. Okay, we've all been there where we did not operate with our intuition. We've all been there where we didn't think the relationship was as serious as it was, and we went ahead and embarked on the relationship with him anyway. I remember low key when I met my first husband. I mean, I was 16 and a half. I mean, I was 14 when I met him, but I was 16 and a half when I found out that he kind of had a girlfriend. I didn't even know he had a girlfriend. He told me he had two roommates. What I didn't know was that one of them was his damn girlfriend, soon to be engaged fiance. Whole time he calling me every day, hanging out with me all the time. I had no idea, but I was young. Nowadays, we are older. We are 35, 30 and up. Once you know better, you have to do better. Okay. This is not one of those things where it's like, oh my God, so he had a girlfriend, he had a wife, I didn't even know. Stop it. Stop it. Because I'm not going to allow that today. Okay. I'm not going to allow us to fool ourselves any longer. Okay. All right. So once we know better, we got to do better. So this is the problem that I'm having. This is the part for me. This is the part. This is the part. The part for me is that women will shout from the rooftops. We will claim, we don't want to settle. I'm not dealing with nothing. I'm not about to settle. I'm independent. I don't even need a man. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. And this same woman will sleep with a married man. This same woman will date a man that clearly has a girlfriend, a committed relationship. Or even worse, these women will have a child with a man that has a commitment to someone else. I'm floored because that's crazy. That's literally crazy. It's like we are so running north and south at the same time. Like, how? How is it in one breath we're like, no, we not settling. We don't need no man. We don't need, and this is why I call bullish on all of it. You want to know why? Because we all say that. We're all yelling it. But there is a man somewhere. Somewhere there's a man tucked away. Unless you are one of those women that are super enlightened and you're working on your healing and on yourself, I believe y'all. Because I know that that happens. I did that. I was single for 3 years. Wasn't a man in sight, okay? Except my kids. But I mean a man. It was not a man in sight when my husband and I were separated in 2013. So I know that there's a possibility for that to happen. But these other women are yelling from the rooftops, I don't need no man, I don't got no man, I'm not settling, and yet you got this married man popping over your house whenever you feel like it. Or even better, you have a kid thinking you're going to keep him, and that only makes him run back to his wife even faster. And the sad part is guess what? You thought it was going to ruin their relationship, but she took him back anyway. So didn't work out for you so much. Okay. So we have to stop doing these things, especially as older women now. And even still, I am hoping that a younger woman watches this, because here's the thing. We got to learn it early in order to not do it later. Gone should be the days of us learning lessons in our 40s that we should have learned in our 20s. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is going to be heavy. You are talking to my younger self. My self-esteem was so low. I did not respect my sisters. I pray that God forgives me, because a woman today would never. Girl, I salute you, because that's what I was going to say. If we have been this woman in the past, and I'm going to speak to that today, just so you know, so that, we all know where this comes from. And you're right, a lot of it comes from low self-esteem and low self-worth. But inside of here, I was going to say, take a prayer to your God and your ancestors, okay? Because we do not want this karma, but I'm going to tell you what happens, all right? Also, another thing is, ladies, we got to start being more smarter with our vajays and our wombs, okay? Every man does not deserve to incubate a child in your womb, and every man does not deserve access to the center that births everything within you. Every man is not privy or not worth that, especially a man that has a commitment elsewhere, especially a man that has vowed his provision and protection somewhere else. Okay. Now, my personal advice, y'all know it. My personal advice for women is never get involved with a married man. Never. One, okay. Let's break it down. Oh, yeah, because this what guys be telling us, because, I'm going to keep it real tonight. This what guys be telling us, we separated, I just ain't had time to get no divorce. Married. Because that's a lie. The only exception, if there would be one, is that divorces sometimes take time. So if he is in the middle of his divorce, going toward the end, like there's assets, there are properties, there are things that have to be taken care of, childcare, alimony, child support. All of these things have to be worked out in court. And if you don't agree in court with the magistrate, y'all know I've been through a divorce, your divorce is prolonged until you guys agree. If you guys never come to an agreement, that divorce can take years. So that is the only exception that I would say, is like he's in the middle of a divorce. The demise of the marriage has happened, he's in the middle of that divorce, he just can't. But even then, I would just say, I wouldn't want to deal with a guy that's going through that anyway, because he's going to be all over the place. His priority can't be building a relationship with you, because his priority still has to be ending the relationship with her. So, but I would say, as far as like karmic reasons, no, there's none attached to that. But okay, this guy say, all right, separate. Yeah, I just haven't had time to really get down to the court. And if a man has not made the time to get down and divorce his wife, and the wife has not made it down to take time to divorce him, they're not ready for a divorce. Do not embark on a relationship with this man. Another one. Oh yeah. We separated. We got some stuff. It's not the right time. I mean, we got properties and stuff that we gotta figure out. We just bought this house. I can't really sell the house yet because we just got it, but I'm not really with her. Married or living together. Don't mess with that man. Oh, it's not the right time for the kids. I'm trying to let my kids get a little bit older. So I'm just hanging around for the kids. We like our family unit. Don't mess with him. Oh, and the best one is this, y'all. Yeah, we still live together and everything, but we sleep in separate rooms. We've been sleeping in separate rooms for a minute now. Still married, still together. Do not embark on a relationship with that man. And definitely do not become the side piece to a man who has a girl who he's clearly in a committed relationship. So when I say married, what I mean is married legally and committed relationship and living together, because they might as well be married. He's made a commitment to take care of her, family, kids, whatever. So you do not embark on that. All right. Now, this should be self explanatory. Like, nobody should have to say it. But unfortunately, it's happening. So let me just tell you the results that comes from this. All right. Let me tell you the plight of the side chick. So most people don't know this, and they will never equate it in this particular topic, but let's just say we're all over 25. Let's say 30 and up. Most people 30 and up have already met the love of their lives already. And they either fumbled the bag, like the woman has already met the love of her life and she's fumbled the ball, she's fumbled, or the man fumbled it, but either way, she's already met the love of her life. This is men and women alike. We've all already met somebody that just lit our fire and just did it for us, and either we ruined it or they ruined it. This goes for women and men alike. Some people, they just weren't ready to be in a relationship. Some people prioritize their career. Some women prioritize their career over family. And then the guy said, well, this is not what I want, and he had to leave. Some women met the love of their life in college. It really depends, but most people have already met the love of their life. Another thing is, I don't want to say it, but a lot of people are settling. When I say settling, because they've already met the love of their life, who they're with now is not necessarily the person they really want to be with. So they kind of go back and forth with this person. Once they get to this place, most women, if we are honest with ourselves, the man that lit our fire, the man that was the love of our life, the man that just did it for us, most women will let that man double back and spin the block back to you, even if he has somebody else. And that's crazy. But most of us will do it. Like, it happens. It happens all the time. They're actually hoping one day he's going to spin the block, turn the corner, and come back to her, and that the woman he's with doesn't mean anything. But that's usually not the case. Men are very strategic and methodical about the things that they are doing. If he chose her for a reason. If he's doubling back to you, he's only doubling back to you because you make it easy for him, not because you're going to be the one he ends up with. I'm sorry, y'all. It's tight, but it's right. Okay? Here's another fact. And it's a sad fact. A lot of women are in a position where the man that they truly want don't want them. So they say and they act like they don't care or they don't want or they don't need a man. And it's only because the one that they really want has no interest in being with them. Let me tell y'all, and this is true. Like, I don't know if y'all know this, but I have been coaching women and relationships since 2002. I was certified by the National Association of Christian Counseling when I was 22 years old. I was married at 19, initiated into this counseling group at 22 years old, and was doing it from 22 to 26 years old consecutively. Took a break, started back up in 2007, got my master's in metaphysics in 2010, and became a holistic life coach in 2010, and have been coaching ever since. There was a woman who would tell me all the time, I don't want to get married. I could care less. Marriage ain't the goal for everybody. I don't want to get married. Who says you have to be married? I was like, oh God, nobody. Like, you have to honestly do what's best for you. So no, you don't have to be married. No, I'm only asking you because I'm trying to assess your needs as we start this session. I don't want to be married. I don't need to be married. The man that she loved, the man that she was in love with, was married. And that was the man that she was dealing with. Finally, after years, and when I say years, y'all, I'm talking about years. Got a kid together. That kid is grown. He finally decides to divorce his wife and comes to her and he's like, I got a divorce. And she's like, okay. Because at this point now, she doesn't care. She came back to me later on and said, you know what? You were right. And I said, about what? She was like, I was always saying that I didn't want to be married because I knew that the man that I loved and the man that I wanted to be with could never marry me. So basically, I cheated myself out of years of happiness that I could have had being in a real consistent relationship with somebody that could have given me more because I was settling for being with this guy who already had a situation going on. And I tricked and fooled myself into thinking that this was something I didn't want because low key I knew it was something that I could never have from him. And I said, whoa, that's heavy because it takes a lot of awareness to know that now. She's like, well, yeah, but now I got to start my whole life over. I got to start it from scratch. And I'm older now. And I was like, it's probably because you got older and you got wiser. You realized that this situation wasn't serving you. This situation wasn't blessing you. It was doing nothing for you. As a matter of fact, it was doing nothing but taking from you. So another sad fact is a lot of times the men that women are actually in love with, the man that they truly want, don't want them or have no interest in being with them. So this has created, these facts alone, the four that I just named, has created a culture of them not caring about others people's relationships because theirs didn't work out. And instead of taking accountability and working on themselves, which is what we all should do when the demise of a relationship comes, they developed a callous and cavalier attitude toward relationships in general. They're not going to value your relationship because they didn't value what happened in their own. A lot of times, people like people to suffer in the ways that they did subconsciously. Well, I've been hurt, so it doesn't matter if she gets hurt. Like, I mean, I've been hurt too. So we've all been hurt. Sis, but that doesn't mean that you contribute to another woman's hurt just because you've been hurt. That's like sociopathic behavior. These are things that we have to recognize within ourselves. Red flags that we have to recognize within ourselves. Now, all these women are scarred. These women lack value in themselves. See, as a woman who values yourself, you know what you bring to a table. You know what you offer the environment around you. and you don't settle for just anything. So I understand completely, because there was a time when I had that same low self-esteem and didn't value anything. That's why I know it goes on out here, because it's happened with all of us. None of us are exempt. Not one of us. All right? So now, this is how low value it is. Yes, someone's lesson is another one's trauma. What one may learn, the other one has unlearned. That's right. I know a woman that played the side chick position for 3 years until his girlfriend finally walked away. And now they're married. I highly doubt that he's faithful, especially since he was in his early 40s. Okay, we got to talk about that, because he's probably not. He's probably not. And they're not happy. I'm going to go ahead and say that, and I'm going to tell you guys why shortly. But I don't want to skip before my stuff. But no, we're going to get back to that comment, because I guarantee you, no. Now, once again, y'all know I always say, there are exceptions to every single rule. So, they could be living happily ever after. But the odds are is that they're not. There's exceptions to every rule, but I don't speak to exceptions. I speak to the rule. And the rule says that they're probably not happy. Y'all see what happened to Neo and old girl Crystal? He was with Moneta for all those years. Maybe I'll tell y'all the story after. But he was with Moneta, and then overlapped the relationship with Crystal. And then Crystal was, I got him. And then now he done cheated on her, and she done posted this big thing saying that he been cheating the whole entire relationship. We knew, because he did it to her, and you was a part of it. That's why this is happening today. This is why I'm talking about this, because we have to stop. This has to stop. It is a cycle, and we're perpetuating it. All right. So let me tell you how low value this is. You guys know that when a man is with a woman, first and foremost, he's getting to his bag. He's getting to his purpose. That's first and foremost. Then he has his family. Then he has his kids. So as a side chick, you're not second. You're like fourth in line. Which means no calling me after 10 or 11. I can only see you when my wife's at work, or when she's not home, or when I'm pretending I'm at work. You can't be calling and messaging me all the time, because you're not about to get me caught out. There are rules to your relationship that are ridiculous. And if he's one of those guys that act like, oh yeah, I mean, you can call me whenever you want, it's cool. He's still not answering your call 90% of the time when he's around his wife or his family. So you're settling for the pockets of time that a man is able to give you. Now, listen to this, y'all. I'm married, and I still gotta fit into the pockets of time that my husband has where he's not busy working. The other day I was so surprised. It was a random Monday night. He's like, yeah, let's go on a date. Whoa, wait, where we going? Yeah, we about to go tacos and tequila. Let's go. Whoa, okay. On Monday night, never. He's normally on his business call at 7:30, 8 o'clock on a Monday night. So I'm like, oh, maybe the call got canceled. I don't care to answer no questions. Let's go. Let me get dressed. So you still got to fit into the pockets of time even when you're married. Now, as a side piece, I got to fit into a half of a pocket, a quarter of a pocket, and I got to be okay with that. Now, listen, remember, y'all, this is, we got to put it together. Women, number one need is to be admired and adored. Women need adoration. So when we're in a relationship with a man that's in a relationship with somebody else, know what that opens us up for? Another relationship. So what happens is because he's so busy over here, he can't fulfill all of your needs for love and adoration. So now you got to get a second guy to fulfill those needs. So now you're messing with two guys for the price of one. This is the one you really want, but he got the wife and the family. This is the one you settle for because he's available, but you don't really want him like that. But now you got to have two guys. So now you got two guys you sleeping with, two guys in your vagina, two guys that you're sharing your womb with, and two weird energies that are also attached to other women that are entering back into you. Then you wonder why you feel crazy. Then you wonder why you feel depressed. Then you wonder why you feel despondent. Then you wonder why your mind is playing tricks on you. You are doing too much. The same way your energy is on that man and he's bringing it back to that wife, that the wife's energy is being brought back to you. Sex is a energetic exchange even more so than it is a physical exchange. When you are having sex, sex, let me stop saying it out loud because then YouTube, the people with the porn and stuff, they'll start putting it in your comments. So let me not. So when you start sleeping around with a man that is married, that is also still sleeping with his wife, you are taking on everything that he's taking on from her as well, and vice versa. That's why it's just energetically dangerous, even more so than it's physically dangerous. Not to mention, if you're sleeping with a married man, you love him. You love him a lot. 9 times out of 10. And 9 times out of 10, if you love him and you love him a lot, you're having sleeping with him unprotected, which is even more dumb. Because low key, you kind of want to have his kid so that he could tell. And then when he have to tell, his wife will leave him, and then y'all can live happily ever after. But it doesn't work like that. In our minds, we have the way that it's going to work, and it never works like that. So now, another thing. I don't want to say this either, but I got to. Remember, we all saw like, why did I get married? And they thought it was such a profound thing when the guy was like the 80-20%, like, oh, she was 20%. We all saw that part, right? So that is actually the 80-20 rule was coined in the 1800s by a man named Vilfredo Pareto. The reason I know that guy's name is because I have to teach it all the time in hair school and aesthetic school, because that 80-20 rule applies to everything. They realize that 80% of the wealth in the country is held by 20% of the people. 80% of the land that is bought is only purchased by 20% of the people. 80% of reward is only brought in by 20% of efforts. So your 20% effort has to be solid and focused, and it will bring you 80% return. So that 80-20 rule applies to everything in life. All right. Here's the thing. As a side piece, you truly are only 20%. The other day, right? My father has this thing where if me or my sister say that we have a taste for something, he will try to make sure that he cooks it and then tell us to come grab it on the way home from work, right? And so he had made some navy beans with like some smoked meat. And I love navy beans with smoked meat. So he's like, oh, I made some beans with smoked meat. I'm like, oh. But then on my way, I was like, oh, that's not going to be enough. So I stopped at Popeyes and I got a box of chicken because I was like, I'm going to want something to go with the beans. Essentially, that's how it is when you are the side chick. It sounds cliche, but let me say this. Sides are not good without the main meal. But sides are always amazing when you have the main meal, when you have the main entree, when you have the main dish. So if a woman at home is 80 or 90%, and this woman is 80 or 90%, and I'm going to tell you why. One, he chose to marry her. Two, he still has not divorced her. He's probably not going to divorce her. She takes care of his children. She takes care of his home. She fixes his food. She cleans up after him. She does everything that she is supposed to do for him. Now, she might be slacking in some areas, which is, of course, where the side chick picks up at. He also gets to be a fantasy at the side chick's house. See, at home is real responsibility. At home is where his wife gets to see his deficiencies. At home, his wife gets to see that the bills are not paid, that the lights are getting ready to get cut off, that you said you were going to be able to do this. We need a new car. We need the pipes fixed. We need a new stove. We need this. We need that. A wife actually is always applying unconscious pressure to the man because things have to be done. Because remember, I said that these are roles, and a role as husband mean that he has to take care of these things. When he goes to the side chick house, he don't got to do nothing but show up. Anything that's wrong in her house, anything that's going on with her, that doesn't even matter so much. Yeah, he might be here there to talk to her. He might shoot her a little change here and there. But she is not the bulk of a burden to him like his family may seem. So essentially, the side chick feels lighter. And it feels good because you're already getting all of this at home. And as long as this don't find out about this, you get 100% or even more, because 80 plus 20 is 100. Now you're fulfilled in all areas as the guy until the 80% leaves because she's upset. Because remember, women, men don't leave women leave men. So now the 80% is gone and you're left looking at nothing really. What do we got? Some conversation, some good sex. He doesn't have to build with the side chick. See, what people don't understand is that the wife is actually graced to deal with her husband's quirks and his deficiencies. She's equipped and graced by God to deal with those things. A woman that is on the side is not graced to deal with those things. So even if he leaves or the wife leaves him and you get him, you're not going to be graced with the things that go on with him like his wife is or was. Now he's left with the 20%. Now you're not looking so good to him. There's also another concept that has to do with affairs. It's called the forbidden fruit aspect. The thrill of the illicit is what it's called. And so it's almost like being addicted to a drug or to a high. A man goes over there, he got to sneak over there. So now he's sneaking over there, his phone ring, his wife call, his heart start beating on fast. He's like, oh, I got to take this. Then he go take the call, then he come back. Then he got to deal with you because you got a little attitude, but he get to fix that. Then he got to go home. The wife got a little attitude, he get to fix that. But all in all, he's still getting what he feels he wants. And every time that adrenaline rush comes of the fear or the thrill of him almost getting caught and almost losing everything, it's like a roller coaster. That is like a drug to him. And he gets addicted to that feeling. Guess what? Things are not as fun once the other person finds out. And the thrill of the illicit goes away almost immediately. And it's almost like their eyes are open and they're like, what the hell was I doing? What was I thinking? I don't want to lose this for this. And as good as you may be to that man as the side chick or the side piece or the other woman, it will still never be enough. So never put yourself in that situation, because in your mind, you're there because you love him. He's good looking. You want him. But deep down, you want more from him. Nobody wants to settle for being a pocket of time. Well, I know I wouldn't. I couldn't do it. That's just me, though. Like, I would never be able to be a pocket of time. I told my husband, y'all know I be telling. I was married to my husband in 2010, and we were separated, and he had women, and I was like, you better be glad you married me because I could have never been none of those women. The moment you mentioned, told me, said anything about wife or marriage, I'd have been like hurt, crying, upset, but I would have been gone. You would have saw my dust like the Roadrunner. Pew! You just gave me the best reason to be with somebody else. As much as I love you, I would never have settled for that. Ever. That could have never been me. And it would never be. And I said, I think you probably knew that. That's why you probably hurried up, try to rush to marry me, to lock me down and put me on layaway, because that's essentially what it seemed like you did. But I could have never. I would have never been able to be that. The moment you said marriage, I have so much respect for that. I would have never. Because I know what happens as a result of that. So now another thing is, this is the worst part. Remember, everything in life is about position. So let's say he does leave his wife, or his wife does leave him, and you get the guy, like we were talking about earlier. The position that you now used to play is open in his life. He is now, not consciously, but subconsciously, accepting applications for side chicks. Because if this is a man that needed two women, what made you think that you were that important that once he left his wife, or his wife left him, you were going to be the one that was all of a sudden enough? It Why are we lying to ourselves? It baffles me. It's beyond me. Like, I'm messing with a man that got a wife or a girlfriend that he lives with, is committed to. And now he's like, no, baby girl, I think I'm gonna leave her for you. I think you the one for me. I think it's gonna be you. One, would you want a man that decided that he was gonna meet you and then all of a sudden go to his woman and just say, I'm leaving you for her? Why? Y'all, somebody please make it make sense for me. Why would I want a man with the capability to do that? I want you to leave your person for me? And then what? Now he's left the person for me, and all of a sudden you're enough. Yeah, you're good. Yep. You're his 100%. He's never going to cheat on you because that's not in his nature. Like, I don't get it. Where's the faith coming from in this? How come nobody sees the pattern? Or you don't care, that's fine, but he's just going to be what he needs to be for you? That's crazy. No, he's not. No, he's not. So you got to always remember that the game is chess. It's not checkers. When one piece on the board moves, another piece on the board has to move, y'all. That is universal. It's not one of those things where we're like, the game is chess, not checkers. No, this is real life. When a piece on the board of this universe moves, another piece has to move. And once that piece moves, you set off a catalyst of other causations. Cause, effect, more cause, more effect. The effect creates another cause. The cause creates another effect. And on and on and on and so on and so on and so forth. So why are we doing this? The woman that I referenced earlier ended up totally shutting me out after a while. We haven't talked since. She blocked me on all social media 5 years ago. Guess I knew too much, girl. Yes, you did. Okay? You was a Lifetime movie waiting to happen. You could have let all the little secrets out. She said, oh, no. And plus, just, I don't know if you guys know this, but women are held accountable socially. We are the species that care what other people think. Men don't care what other people think. They will do what they do, act how they act, and could care less, usually, what society or anybody thinks about them. Women are the ones that care about what people are thinking and saying about them. So we are held accountable socially, which is why women can hold other women accountable in this area. You notice, like, a woman, like look at this example. Like, a man could not be taking care of his kids, and He'll still be out playing basketball with his boys, and not one of his boys ever say, "Man, when the last time you seen your kids?" Nobody says that to him. But if you're a woman and you come sit at the brunch table and you're like, "I haven't seen my kids in 3 years," all the women gonna go, and then sure enough, we're gonna go, why you ain't seen your kids in 5 years? And she's gonna get a barrage of questions, and then she's gonna get a barrage of women that's not feeling it, hence not feeling her, hence not embarking on a relationship with her. Women are held accountable socially. Men are held accountable legally and systematically. There has to be systems in place to keep men accountable. That's why the marriage institution was built in the first place, because that holds men accountable to the commitment that they said that they made. Men are not going to care about people shunning them about sleeping around, but a woman will care if the word gets out that you were sleeping with married men, even though that is what you're doing. And if you didn't care that it got out, if you cared that it got out, you probably shouldn't have been doing it. But we're weird like that. That's the thing. That's why I say that women, we gotta chill, because we're a conundrum, and it's a bad one. It's not cool. Like, we're so weird. We're embarrassed about the behavior, but we still do it. We hate accountability. Just kill us now. We never want to take that. We never want to take responsibility for the things that we've done and created. It's the weirdest thing to me. I refuse to be a stalker for her. I knew her and his girlfriend. Oh, you see my face? I didn't even read the rest. Look at. I refused to be a stalker for her. I knew her and his girlfriend. I told her I wanted nothing to do with it, and to have her act like I wronged her. Yeah, because you were supposed to be loyal to her. Didn't you know that? You were supposed to tell her everything that was going on in that man relationship with that other one, because I would have been loyal. Girl, bye. Stop. No, I'm not helping you. I'm not helping you destroy another woman's life. Okay? And as a matter of fact, now I don't even want to be friends with you no more, because that's the type of person you are. See, I don't have time. In a minute, I will dead a friendship. When women talk to me about things like sleeping with married men, and I'm not talking about coaching people, I'm talking about friends. If they ever mentioned that they were sleeping with a married man, immediately our connection would probably drop and die off. Like, I don't like stuff like that. Because I'll tell y'all why in a minute. Y'all know. So now, let's look at the cycle. Okay? So here we are. They end up either with that man or in a relationship with somebody else, right? And this is where it's no fun when the rabbit has the gun. Okay? They're in a relationship. They love him and he loves them. But guess what? Now they don't trust that man. These women, whether they end up with the man that they were having the affair with or another separate man, they will never trust that man. That is their karma. They can never live happily ever after. Want to know why? It's because they know that there are women out there like her that will be willing to do exactly what she did. Not you, sis. Not you, who was sleeping with old girl's man. Not you, who was telling him, "Oh, I love you. I'm never gonna leave you. Oh, I'm never gonna let go. I'm never gonna leave you. It's me and you. I'm gonna be here for you forever." Not you. Not you. Now you realize that there's somebody out there that could be saying those same things to him. Because again, y'all, there was a conversation my husband and I had yesterday morning. We be having the weirdest conversations in the morning. It's crazy. But I was talking about I don't know if it was going to be another video, but I was saying women have this idea that we're not supposed to be competitive because competitiveness is a masculine trait. However, we're not supposed to compete with men. But nobody ever the hell said that we're not supposed to compete with women. Every day, my husband said, whoa, 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 let me stop you. I said, all right, let me build on this. I gotta go. I got my bag in one hand, my pocketbook in the other. I'm just sitting here listening. He's like, no, you're right, because I, as a man, am competing with every single man in your life. Your dad, your brother, your uncles, and any man that you probably got in your phone right now. Any man you've ever dated, ever slept with, ever been with. He said, listen to this. Oh, hi, Tiff. You on vacation. I'm so glad you could come up here. But you're going to have to catch the replay because, like, I'm in the middle. Okay. But he said, I'm competing with all those guys. He said, as a woman, you can probably look in your phone, text any guy, and say, you trying to come through? And that man would leave his job or stop what he was doing to come have sex with you, to come sleep with you. Oh, yeah. He was like, oh, okay. He was like, so here's the thing. There's women, he said, now let's look at the flip. I probably got women in my phone that I could call, but it'd take a little bit more work. Like, I would have to like act like I'm interested in what they're talking about. I'll probably have to like sit over there a day or two. I'm not just gonna be able to go over there and do that. He said, or it might be that one girl that's just like, yeah, whatever, come on. But he was like, but that girl, that's a different kind of girl. Like, if you got a girl like that in your phone, that's a different kind of woman. He was like, so you're right. He was like, because every day I'm in competition with a guy that calls you beautiful. I'm in competition with the idea of somebody being able to do what I can do. He was like, so honestly, every day a woman is in competition of the idea that a woman can come on to him, call him out the blue, come on to him, and he has to then make a decision, wife or this. And now my priority got to be my family, so I got to choose my wife. But that don't mean that there wasn't something that went on inside of me that said, whoo, it would have been nice to try. So now we're talking about competition here. So now there is always somebody. Remember, we've all already been with the love of our life. Well, a lot of us, especially if we're over 30. I'm going to say over 30 because 25, your frontal cortex isn't even built yet. You're still a kid, kind of. You don't even know how to process information good. But most people have met that. So there is always somebody in any of our phones that we can call and spit some women and men alike and spit something that make them go, that make them question, most women wouldn't, but question whether they're going to choose to stay faithful or not. So you're competing with that idea. So now old girl has been sleeping around with somebody else's husband, somebody else's man, helping to the demise of somebody else's family. And now she decides to get her own. Now all of a sudden she's in love. You know, somebody wants to be with her, only her. But now her own demons are going to show up for her. Her own demons are going to start to torment her. Because she knows the things that she was saying to another man. She knows the enticement that she was doing for somebody else. Who's to say that nobody's enticing the man that you're with? And I'm going to be 100% honest. Who wants to be with a guy that nobody else wants? So if you're with a guy worth his weight in salt, we all know that other women want him. Why walk around with the karma and the guilt? Like, I know for a fact when my husband goes out, he walks around, he's good looking, he has muscles, that somebody gonna want to know what's going on. told my sister one day about her husband. I'm like, listen, her husband works in a jail, successful, got businesses. I mean, I dare say good looking. I'm gonna throw up. Oh my god, my mouth just got thick. Hold on. He okay looking, and there's some chick that's out there that's probably gonna want to see what's going on. Could you imagine if you was the girl that was sleeping with other people's men? How frantic and he blazing! Don't do that. You dragged it. Okay, I wasn't gonna go that far. So, could you imagine though? I'm just a girl out here. I'm just out here flirting with everybody, man, sleeping with everybody, man, and now I get a man that's good looking, got some stuff going for him. I just cursed myself because now I know the same I was doing, somebody else is doing to him. And why wouldn't he succumb? You did it. Somebody did it for you. Ooh, I would never want to live in that hot ass hell. I would never want to slide down that slide of a razor blade for my own life. You have just put yourself in torment. You've just put yourself in. Ooh, I couldn't even imagine. My heart is palpitating thinking about it. Just knowing what I've done to somebody else. And now I get somebody, and now he leave the house, and I'm like, I wonder who calling his phone, because I know when old girl how when he was married, when he was married to old girl, I was the one. I would never, exactly, will never mess someone else's home. Exactly. Because that karma's real. It's not okay. All right. It is so weird to me, y'all. I'm just getting my notes, but I'm going to say this before I look up what else I wanted to say. It is so weird to me, y'all, when people cry and play the victim when things happen to them. Like, you know, you did it to somebody, and now you want to play victim when it happens to you. Like, I'm confused. How are they even questioning this? Like, I'm so confused. Like, you did it to somebody. If you the type that do it to somebody, you might as well just be on some like free for all. Like, yeah, I know some shit gonna do it to me, and just be okay with it, because that's how life works. And this is why I would never want to be with the man that left his family for me. You can't play yourself any harder trying to be with the man that left his wife and his family for you. You are the biggest, dumbest dummy and the biggest doofus moron dunce that could walk the face of this earth. Why would you think that that would be a good situation for you moving forward? It doesn't make sense, y'all. Make it make sense, please. Somebody. As I dissected this, I'm like, why are we out here? Why are we doing this? All right, so let me say this. I'm gonna tell. Right, they hate it when it's them. Then they be crying to their friends, and then I'd be like this. Hmm. But remember when you was? They be so mad at me, cause I'm gonna say it. But remember when you was calling that married guy, and his wife was calling the phone, and he had to go outside the car to take the call, and he came back in. Remember that? So now, why are you crying? Cause I just will never get it. It's maybe I'm different. Maybe I'm different. I don't know, but I don't like it. So let me tell y'all this, right? Um, I don't know. Me and my husband got separated, right? And he dated women, talked to women, or whatever. Um, and he ne- he kept coming back, and in my head, I would be like, Um, One, I've never put that out into the universe. So I never deserve to lose a husband to another woman because I never taken a man from another woman. When you know that you didn't plant the seed, you know that the return is false when it's false, right? If I've never planted that seed a day in my life, then that means that's not my harvest. And I'm not going outside to pick it. So I don't care who you think you dating. That's not about to be my story. Like, y'all, they not about to make it. All it takes is one prayer for me. And he lucky I wasn't praying to get him back. But all it would have took was one prayer. Because that's not my harvest. I never planted that seed. So my husband was out here dating and carrying on. And I'm sitting there watching from afar, not saying anything, because I was just like, good luck. Because this is the part as women that we have to stop doing. We have to stop nanny boo booing. Nanny, I got the man. Nanny, he's with me now. No, he's not. No, he's not. Because that's what we always do. We gloat at the finish line, and now he's gonna do the same thing to you. Because do you realize that my husband had a girlfriend, but then I was the side chick, but I wasn't the side chick because I was the wife, and now I don't gotta care about you because I'm the wife. So you decided to want to flirt with a married man, and then we separated for real. Like didn't talk for years. Y'all, I'm saying I'm talking about did not utter a word, not a hello, not a text, not a hi. One day he calls my phone and says, "What's your address?" And I told him my address, and he was like, "Open the door, I'm outside." Sir, how do you know where I live? Uh-uh. That's not public knowledge. You just outside my house after you asked me where I lived at. First of all, weird. That's how men do. They be knowing stuff about you. They start watching you and looking for you before they trying to come back. He had some weird car that I was like, oh, maybe he got a new car, but it wasn't his. Probably was hers. I don't know. But it wasn't my job to care about her. It was my job to care about me. See, this is my husband. And there's things that I did. He actually had finally showed up. He was giving me some money, a big lump sum of money too. And I was like, oh, Christmas came early. Okay, Santa. And he showed up with that money. And then he walked out. And I remember I went to call my best friend. I was like, oh my God, guess who? Before I could even, the phone rang twice. And I got another knock on the door. And when I opened the door, he was all over me. Oh my God, I love you. I miss you so much. Whoa, sir, what is this? But it wasn't my job to ask him about old girl. So now you just lost him to the woman you took him from? There can't be a higher level of cheat. I'm sorry. I don't know how else to say it. There cannot be a higher level of cheat because I wasn't even trying to get him back. You know how some women they get left, they stalk the guy, they keep calling him, I love you, our family, I just want our family back. I ain't say a word. I never called, I never texted, I never asked for anything. I actually acted like he fell off the face of the earth. So it wasn't like I was vying for his attention and affection while he was in that relationship. I actually was waiting for my divorce papers. I was like, oh, he probably about to divorce me soon. Them papers probably about to come. I actually heard he was getting ready to divorce me, so I was waiting for it. No, it's not what happened. So we have to stop taunting because the joke always ends up being on you. We always, trying to flaunt. First of all, who flaunts? Why would any woman flaunt that they won the married man? No, we only have one, Joanna. The other one is my stepdaughter. We only have one together. And then the two that I have that are older are from my first husband. And he has one from when, I don't know, years ago. Our oldest children are both 22. So we have 22, two 22-year-olds, an 18-year-old, a 9, a 10-year-old, and a 9-year-old. So, yeah, so you try to like, and I'm not talking about this situation. I'm talking about in general. So the woman nanny boo boos. I got the man. Try to start, posting pictures and flaunting that she got this man, and then yet you're really miserable because that man is not going to treat you any better than he treated his wife. And that's the part that we got to get. Yeah, we as women, we are not special. No, we ain't talking nothing about them kids. When we were separated, the very first time, I didn't speak to him for 3 years, and I did not talk to him about our kid at all. If he saw his child, it was because his child got dropped off to his mother and his sister's house, and that's when he saw him. He never picked him up from me. I never picked him up from him. I did not see that man at all. One, because I didn't want to, it would have been too hurtful. But two, you figured out, get him when he over in your camp already. Don't talk to me. Like, I get like that. Like, as nice as I am and as kind as I am and as submissive as I am, I still get to be away when you're doing something that's wrong. Like, don't talk to me. I'm not. Mm-mm. So I didn't. Right, nothing to talk about. Right, what we talking about? That shit. Oh, because we ain't talking. Are we talking about getting back together? No, and that was why when he first came back, that was the first conversation we had. Because what are you doing here? I mean, I took that money though. I thought he was going to drop off some money. I didn't know he was going to profess his undying love that day, but you know. But yeah, we have to stop doing that as women, trying to flaunt and taunt the other woman like we won a prize. We did not win a prize. That prize got holes in it. Because if he was willing to ditch his family or ditch somebody else for you, you didn't win, sweetie. You lost. There is nothing glamorous about what you got. Nothing. That's not a prize. That thing is a 30-place ribbon. You came in last place. That man gave you no commitment, no ring, no nothing. And yet you end up with him, like I said, Neo. Neo was with Manetta for years, mistreated her, did everything in his power to break that girl down. Classic narcissist behavior. I was actually divorcing my husband and I barely said hello when I seen him, period. What we talking about? There is no need to be friends at all. Manetta ended up, they was made a pact to like for him to get a vasectomy and her to get her tubes tied. He she got had her 2 kids by him, got her tubes tied. He never got his vasectomy. Then all of a sudden one day came back to her after she had their kid and said, I don't want to be with you no more. So literally a week later, he was online with some chick named Crystal. Married, got with Crystal, said he wanted to be monogamous with Crystal all of a sudden. She was nanny boo booing, taking pictures with him. I'm his wife. I'm this. She went and got. Manetta was engaged to him. She went and got her gown made by the same person Manetta got her gown made by. She went and got her stuff. She had the wedding. She had the wedding the same day of Neo's kid's birthday. Like she was just doing like little vindictive things. Now all of a sudden Crystal crying because she divorcing him because oh my God, he's been unfaithful our whole marriage. You dunce. Of course he was. You moron. What made you think that you were so special that he was not going to do what he did to Manetta to you? I'm floored and I'm embarrassed. Like we're embarrassing ourselves, ladies. When a man takes on a wife, he did it strategically. He ain't leaving that girl for real. Okay, bye, Tiff. Have fun with your little movie. I'll see you tomorrow. Come get your bad dog. Y'all, let me tell you how she just dropped her dog kid off here. like some foster child. Then bringing no food, only enough for the night, no leash, poor baby. Then she all fat and fell down the stairs. I'm like, oh my God, Callie, Wally. Like, Tip, come get your baby tomorrow. As soon as you get in town, stop here first. And don't play with me, okay? Because we going to talk about it. My little Callie fell down the steps. So, let me just say this. I know this is going to sound crazy. But a man But a man having intercourse with another woman doesn't make him a bad man. It makes him making bad decisions. Doesn't necessarily make him a bad man, because as long as he's honoring the commitment that he had to the family, he's not a terrible person. It doesn't mean he's a terrible person. That means that men deal with vices and demons that we know nothing about, because we're women and we're not meant to deal with those demons, right? But I will say this: 8 out of 10 marriages experience infidelity, usually from the man. But many of those marriages move on and are happy later, especially if you're a woman that gets married early. Don't, we're older now, ladies, but if a man is under 30, Leo Peanut happened. First of all, how are you getting played by Leonardo, Donatello? How are you getting played by a gecko? He looked like a whole dragonfly. I don't care what kind of money he is. He looked like a dragonfly. And I'm not getting played by no dragonfly. He looked like a snapper turtle. Okay? And we out here crying. Like, y'all, I gotta stop. Because then y'all gotta see the real me bust out. And then y'all gotta be like, she be wildin'. Because I do. But I am not getting played by no firefly. And on top of which, he looked like he got a little femme in there too. A little sugar. I wouldn't be surprised if he played with booty holes or something. I don't know. Wouldn't be me. Wouldn't be me. He's talking about something, he can't be monogamous. He's insatiable. You gotta be careful of men like that, because that means they're willing to play with anything. Okay? Now, so your man's job is to provide and protect. But a lot of people think that, the man's job is to only protect you from other men, or like somebody with a knife in the house. No, no, no. His job is not only to protect you from other men, but his job is also to protect you from other women and even himself. His job is to protect you from his demons, his vices, and the ugliest version of himself. That is his call to the household. And that doesn't happen until usually a man is around 40 years old. It was about, my husband's 47 now. And it was about 40 when he made a significant change in who he was as a person. Y'all, before 30, I was married to him. I've been with him since he was 32. Just throw him in the trash at that point. 35, still a little egotistical, still leading with your ego. About 38, 39, I started to see, okay. By 40, good money. Good money. Priorities in check, family in check, good stuff. Nobody's frontal cortex is really built until after 25 years old. And your frontal cortex consists of your decision making, your risk versus reward factor, you being able to make qualified decisions and weigh things out. That is not successfully built until you're 25 years old. That's why you got to know you're not supposed to drink till you're 21. They should really make it 25. But two, also your insurance and things goes down, because the way that you make decisions at that age is different than you would once your frontal cortex is fully built and matured. Okay? So you just got to know that if you have a man before that time, before that age bracket, he's not fully matured in his decision making and risk versus reward decision factor yet. So you got to kind of just understand that. And that's something that, you would have to know going in. All right. Now, here's another weird thing to me. Now, y'all, maybe y'all can make this make sense, but the weirdest thing to me is a woman who will leave her own husband for cheating, right? Like, my husband cheated on me and I had to be out. I divorced him and everything. I was like, I'm taking the kids and I'm out of here. But then also be the woman that embarks on a relationship with a married man. Like, I've seen that. You left your own husband for cheating and then ended up being a side piece or messing with somebody that's married. Like, how? Lala Anthony, y'all. Lala Anthony left Carmelo Anthony because he was a cheater, pumpkin eater. Okay? And now, well, not now, this was some time back, he was a cheater. And then all of a sudden, y'all, she start being connected and linked to Swiss Beats, who had been married to Alicia Keys now for 10 years. But ain't nobody feel bad for Alicia Keys because Alicia Keys did the same thing to Swiss Beats' first wife. This is what I'm saying. It is perpetuating a cycle. Ladies, we got to stop. We got to chill. We got to kill it. Lala Anthony started messing with Swiss Beats. She got so enchanted by Swiss Beats. He had to tell her, listen, you got to fall back. You got to calm down because I'm not leaving my wife. And then she goes on to get with some 20-year-old somebody. And like Lala Anthony, once again, one of the biggest poster children for playing yourself mad hard. Okay, I get it. Your husband was cheating. But at day's end, you haven't even found better yet. You went from cheater married to cheating married and then to some young dude that you don't even claim him and he don't claim you. Y'all, please, somebody make it make sense. You might as well have stayed with Carmelo Anthony for that. At least he was providing, he was going to protect. At some point, here's the reality of it, ladies. I don't want to say, I do not condone cheating. I don't want it to sound like that. I don't want it to seem like that. I don't want y'all to even think that that's what I'm saying. I don't condone cheating. But what I will say, though, is men have the capability to entertain more than one wife, more than one woman. And I will also say this. Eventually, they get stopped. They get tired. They just stop. They realize there's nothing out here. It's all ends up being the same. One vajay, this vajay, that vajay, it's the same vajay. At some point, they end up realizing it's the substance in the person that they need. So they're not, you might as well just stay with him and waited till he grew up a little bit. Because what you're doing now is actually worse. And now, who wants to follow up behind Carmelo Anthony? You're never going to meet another husband. Don't no guy want to be married to Carmelo Anthony's ex-wife. He's going to always be in that shadow. Your last name is still Anthony. Y'all might as well just all move in together then. Because at this point, like, you might as well just have stayed with Carmelo. You was married, then left and dated another married guy. But you left your man for cheating. This has to be a mental illness that we have. Like, maybe he needs medication, but I'm trying to figure out why we're doing these things. All right. Now, here's the reality too. We all know, because I get it. The ones that are side pieces gonna be like, I didn't really know. I thought the marriage was over. I didn't know that they were really, because they're gonna try to make themselves feel better because nobody wants to take accountability. But guess what? Everybody tries to pretend they don't know, but you're all lying. Lies, 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 and more lies. I call bullish on all of it because we all have divine intuition. Let me tell you, I was separated from my husband. I started talking to this guy. This is like 2 years in. right when I started to feel healed enough to start talking to people. So I waited about 2 years. And this guy was always talking to me on the phone, in the car, at the gym, in a restaurant. He was never actually home. And I was like, it didn't dawn on me right away. It didn't dawn on me. But I was like, hmm, where are you? One day he said, I'm sitting outside in front of the house. And I said, well, how come you haven't gone in yet? He said, oh, I'm tinkering around with this car. I'm doing something with my car. I was like, huh. Once again, went to my best friend and was like, yeah, she was like, he had a girlfriend. Blunt. I miss her. I just thought about it. And I said, um, what you mean? She was like, he has a girlfriend. If he's always talking to you outside in front of the car, outside in the house, outside, why is he sitting outside the house? You've never heard this man inside of his house. Why don't you say like, oh, so when call me when you get in the house? He's never once called me when he got in the house. She was like, oh, he got a girlfriend. He had a girlfriend. Like, and I was like, oh my God. I knew something felt off. And she was like, right. And she was like, watch, keep talking to him, and see what's really going on. And I was like, I know. So I started to talk to him more and more. And I said, oh, yeah, this dude, something going on with him. He got something tucked away. It might not be a full-fledged girlfriend, but he got a situation. And I just stopped talking to him. It was really that easy. Like, I just didn't answer the phone for him no more. I stopped talking to him. And finally, one day, he was like, you haven't been answering my calls. I said, because you have a girlfriend. He's like, what you mean? I said, I know you have a girlfriend. You have something, because the places that you decide to talk to me at are weird. So if a man has a wife, a woman knows it. I don't ever want to hear, I didn't know. Oh my God, I didn't know about you. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Remember Jackson got up there with his wife, had that bonnet on, that beret, whatever she had on her head, looking like he woke her up out the bed and said, babe, 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 we got to do this live video. Come on, get up, let's go. And sat her next to him looking like she just woke up. She didn't even wipe the crust out her eye. And he got to sit there holding her hand, talking about something, yeah, I was messing around with these other women. They knew he had a wife. They all tried to act like they didn't know, but they knew he had a wife. It's hard to hide an entire wife. Even though he had a bachelor pad, they said he had two apartments and he would take them to the other apartment. They still knew that he had a home in Atlanta, a house. That place that he was taking them was like his office that had a room. Women know. We just pretend that we don't. All right? We got to stop. Now, here's the last thing. This is why I say this is really why we have to stop. So here's the thing. A wife who's being cheated on is at her most vulnerable because she knows it, she feels it. She has no proof, but she's being lied to and she's being gaslit about it. He makes her feel like she's crazy when she brings it up. Why would you want to contribute to another woman's break in her health, her mental health? A woman's family is everything to her. And to feel it like possibly slipping out of her fingertips is the worst feeling that a wife or a woman can ever feel. Imagine you get married and your husband and your family is your everything. And you know he's up to no good. You know he's doing something. You're insecure. You're worried. And every time he's like, what you talking about? No, you lying. Nah. See, this is what I mean. You crazy. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. And then this family is slipping away at the hands of your fingertips. You deserve the worst kind of hell. Literally. I don't feel bad for you when you get cheated on. I don't feel bad for you when you don't find the love of your life. How dare you find the love of your life? And I'm being so serious. Like, yeah, I said it. You don't deserve happiness and love and light. Not right after you just cause the demise and the heartache and the mental break of another woman, how dare you think you're going to live happily ever after? How dare you? Happily ever after ain't for you, sis. Not until you change your behavior. Not until you ask for forgiveness and repent to your God and your ancestors for what you have done. Because another thing is this, y'all. I am a huge believer that people get what they deserve. I am a huge believer that people get what they earn. You plant a seed, the fruit has to sprout. You better go dig that seed up as best as you can so that the fruit doesn't sprout for you. I would never, because here's the thing, selfishness has its cost. Because you would do that to another woman, and then the repercussions won't hit you, they will hit your children. So you would be willing to be selfish and self-centered enough to get what you want now, but allow your children to be hit later. Once again, it's beyond me. It's beyond me. Y'all, being a side chick perpetuates a cycle. Okay? They are contributing to the demise of families, and family structure. Because again, men don't leave women, women leave men. So a woman usually leaves a man first and foremost for infidelity. Pray to your God and to your ancestors for your forgiveness, okay? So how do we curb this? Do we choose violence? Well, I don't choose violence at all. I'm just not a violent person. But I will choose being bolder and holding people accountable. If I am out and I see somebody kikiing a little too hard with my husband, I'm coming over there. Hey, hi. What's going on? What you say? Now wait for him to say, "Oh, this is my wife." That's right. Because men got a code already. But we as women have to have a code. And that I'm coming to you as a woman that's played. Nobody respects that one. Because then the first thing they say is, my job is not to be loyal to her. It's his job to be loyal to her. Shut up. That sounds ridiculous. You do have a job to be loyal to her. And if you don't have a job to be loyal to her, you have a job to be loyal to yourself and your consequences, if nothing else. Another thing, keep women out of your game room, okay? I do not believe in this. Y'all know my first husband had an affair with my best friend. So keep women out of your game room. You don't never see me post my husband. Ever. And not because he's a secret. Everybody know we married. But it's because women with low self-esteem will try them. If women see a man that looks like he loves his wife or his woman, an insecure woman, a damaged woman, will say to herself, he don't love her that much. Watch, I could probably get him too. Something in them has to prove that they have what you have. So don't you give him glimpses. Let him know he around, but that's about it. Don't go bragging. Don't go talking about your sex life. Don't do none of that because women will want to try him. It is the main women in your life that's like, girl, if I was you, I wouldn't be with them. They're the main ones that will sleep with them when you leave them. Don't trust it. Y'all, my ex-best friend was literally my best friend. We used to talk about everything, including we were both married. She talks about her husband all the time. I didn't talk about my husband all the time. I actually loved my husband. But she'd be like, and then all of a sudden she started asking me, like, did y'all have sex last night? And I was like, no, my stomach was hurting. I had Popeyes last night. Like, them red beans and rice had me messed up. She'd be like, Or like I'll be out with her and he would call and then all of a sudden she would just be like, what do you want? I'd be like, nothing, just to see what I was up to. We had mid K or something, and I didn't realize it was because she was sleeping with him. And she felt like that was her man too. Like, what are you doing calling you while we out? Did y'all have sex last night? Did y'all do it last night? And it ended up coming out because, once again, women got to be admired and adored. And if you're not feeling adored, they have to do something to prove that they're being adored. So she ended up telling somebody, like, oh my God, he can't be away from me. He can't stay away from me. I mean, I be trying to like be not near him. He's always coming near me. And that person told my mother because they were members of my parents' church. And that's how I found out. And all along, my best friend, who knew the ins and outs of my relationship, my ups, my downs, my lefts, my rights, was the one sleeping with my own husband behind my back. Literally. Washing up before you about at my house before you're about to go have sex with my husband. That's crazy. That's beyond me. Like, now that I think about it, I'm like, wow. Good luck living happily ever after for them too. Cause that's just me. That's rude. And I ain't do nothing to neither one of them. That's the crazy part. You know? So keep other women out of your game room. Don't always be bragging about your man. Don't always be posting him everywhere. I mean, pictures and stuff, fine. People know y'all together. But people, you would not believe it, will try it just because. Just because they want to get at you. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I don't have nobody in my business. Like, my sister mainly know. That's about it. My sister-in-law, that's about it. But other than that, nope. And another way to curb this, last but not least, the main way should be the repercussions. Being afraid that that same thing is going to happen to you. This should be the one. This should be the one that stops anybody, all of us, from even thinking about doing this to another woman. Loving your sister enough to not want to hurt her in the same way that you wouldn't want to get hurt. It should really be that simple. Why would I want to hurt somebody in a way that I wouldn't want to be hurt? I would never sleep with a married man. I would never talk to a man that was in a committed relationship. Never, 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 ever, because I love women too much. And I care about women too much to hurt somebody in that way. Because I know how badly that hurts. I would never want to be hurt. So, ladies, I know that we are not these girls. But these girls are being brought up around us, not caring about each other, listening to City Girls, listening to Cardi B, listening to all of this music that is doing nothing but perpetuating us worrying about and caring about ourselves, getting to the bag and using these guys for whatever we can get out of them without any regard for the consequences of our choices. There is some, and the reason I think of these topics is not necessarily because of my own life all the time, but I teach students every day. I teach them something about beauty. But every day I teach them something else, and I learn something else about our generations that are coming up. I have a class of 30-year-olds, 25-year-olds, and even 19, 18-year-olds. And the things that they talk about, the things that I hear them saying, I'm like, oh, this is what's going on out here. And somebody got to be the big sisters and tell them, no, baby girl, this is not what we do here. This is not okay, because this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to show up for you. Is that something that you want? Because if it's not, you got to steer clear from it. Steer clear from it. Okay? So, with that being said, I'm going to go up. I'm going to go to bed now or go have a snack because I'm actually starving. And another thing is I broke my computer, so I got to go put my other computer together, set up my other computer. I was nervous that this one wasn't going to work because I dropped water on it. So I got to go get that together. But once again, I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Our next topic is going to be really good. I am actually going to have my sister on as a guest. We are going to be talking about, it's not going to be a long video, it's just a conversation that I want to have as women. We are going to be talking about getting flued out, okay? And a lot of people be like, you get flued out. The guy, that situation that just happened where she got flued out and then he wanted some buns and she didn't give it to him and he left her and then she got stranded out there with no money. So yeah, so we're gonna talk about the flued out phenomenon next. I don't know, it's gonna be when Tiff come back. So I think it's gonna be on like today's Thursday. It's probably gonna be on like Monday or Tuesday. All right. So thank you guys so much for watching. I so appreciate y'all. Y'all know how much I love you. You know how much I love your support. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free. Inbox me, text me. Please subscribe. Please share to your friends. And if you like the video, please like the video in the YouTube chat. All right. Thank you so much and have a good night, ladies. Bye.